Today I'm going to be talking about the Zika virus. According to the New York Times, it is caused by mosquito bites. The Zika virus usually occurs and affects pregnant women. Recently, in 2017, in the United States, 1 out of 10 pregnant women with the Zika infection had a baby born with brain defects, such as microcephaly, eye malformations, brain malformations, and dysfunction in the central nervous system. Microcephaly is a condition where the baby's head is smaller than expected because of abnormal brain development. This is an important issue because dealing with a Zika infection can be fatal and have long-term consequences for babies. Doctors in the United States can be able to find a way to prevent the Zika virus from hurting fetuses. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention came out with the evidence that during the first trimester, if the woman were to get infected, there is a higher possibility her baby will come out with a brain defect. The report concluded that 15% of women infected with the Zika virus during the first trimester had given birth to a baby with birth defects. Even though this study came out with evidence that can help doctors all over the world, it can still be common to have a baby with birth defects even if the woman didn't get infected during the first trimester. In the study, it is confirmed that there was at least one woman in each state with suspicion of having the Zika infection in pregnancy. Furthermore, some women had been bitten by a mosquito in the continental U.S., but out of the 51 cases of birth defects that were in the study, all of the women had been bitten outside the U.S. They traced the infections, and most had come from Latin America, Puerto Rico, or the Caribbean. One of the horrible consequences of the Zika virus is that 80% of women who have it do not produce any symptoms, like rashes or high fevers. The report concluded that both asymptomatic and symptomatic women can give birth to a baby with brain abnormalities. Furthermore, the report couldn't conclude if whether the symptomatic infection in pregnancy is more dangerous than the asymptomatic. The reason why is because the woman who never experienced any symptoms may have not gotten tested for Zika and their cases wouldn't be reported. One of the necessary tests that should be done on babies with possible Zika infections are brain scans, which are recommended by CDC officials. About only 25% of babies in the study had been brain imaging, so 75% of infants could have impaired problems, but the parents wouldn't know. In addition, there can be babies that are born looking perfectly healthy and beautiful, but can be eventually diagnosed with congenital Zika syndrome in the future. One of the benefits of the Zika virus could be that it is being studied by scientists to see if it could help kill brain cancer cells in adults. The Zika virus has the ability to pass from the blood to the brain and kill stem cells, which can be helpful for killing mutated cancer cells in the brain. However, researchers are holding back from experimenting on humans since they are scared the virus can be sexually transmitted to pregnant women. For now, they are trying to find ways of making the Zika virus safer. The two articles I used come from the New Scientist and the New York Times. Even though both articles seem pretty accurate, the New York Times could be a little biased. The reason why would be because the study could have had more women in it, and since some women are asymptomatic, the results couldn't have been so trusting. And now moving on to the primary scientific article. The Zika virus is a mosquito-transmitted flavivirus, and it is a positive-stranded RNA virus. The mosquitoes that transmit the Zika virus are called Aedes, and once a human is infected, then humans can infect each other through sexual activity. The Zika virus was first discovered in Uganda from a rhesus macaque at the Zika forest. However, most of its characteristics have been studied when it spread globally. The Zika virus is often only mild in adults with flu-like symptoms, but nothing life-threatening. However, in the recent epidemic, it did cause several organ failures and thrombocytopenia. The people that are mostly in danger are pregnant women because they will pass the infection to their baby in the womb, and it can have serious consequences. The family the Zika virus falls into is called the Flaviviridae, and it is closely related to other viruses that cause global diseases like dengue, yellow fever, West Nile, Japanese encephalitis, and tick-borne encephalitis. Dengue and yellow fever can be transmitted through mosquitoes and humans, just like the Zika virus. The encephalitic flaviviruses are generally more neuroinvasive than the Zika virus and cause meningitis and encephalitis, something the Zika virus doesn't do. However, the Zika virus does attack neural progenitor cells, which explains of why the Zika virus can cause brain abnormalities in fetuses. One of the diseases it causes to babies is microcephaly, congenital malformations, and fetal demise. Since the Zika virus can attack stem cells in the brain, scientists are searching deep for a way in which the Zika virus can help kill mutated cancer stem cells in the brain. So overall, the Zika virus is not fully horrible. It can be beneficial to our future. Moving on to my conclusion, the characteristic of the Zika virus explains of why they cause brain abnormalities in fetuses. They attack neural progenitor cells in the brain. Furthermore, the Zika virus thrives because it can spread very easily. Just by getting bit by an infected mosquito, it would infect your bloodstream, and it can spread through sexual contact. Furthermore, 80% of people are asymptomatic, which can cause it to spread easier. This microbe is very prevalent, mostly in developing countries, and has a strong impact to our societies. It causes serious threats to fetuses, but it has also been discovered that the Zika virus can help kill brain cancer cells. The Zika virus, as harsh as it may seem, has beneficial characteristics that can help us in the future. Thank you all for listening.